Armando's chiming in. Appreciate the super chat, Armando. Asking, with Mitchell Agude and Akheen Mesidor in play, how will that impact Leonard Taylor and Jafar Harvey?
I say for the positive. I think it's going to push them, but it's also going to give them an opportunity to be able to be pulled off the field and have guys on their level, if not a little bit above them right now, be able to come in right after them and kick butt also. But more importantly, it's going to give them great competition, not just as far as against the offensive line on their side, so that they can earn their spots. It'll be different if you're just that much head over heels better than the guy behind you. Is that going to force you to get much better? For some, yes. For most, no. The best thing that really gets them to go and get better and to keep fighting and to keep growing is, dude, I can't stop because this man behind me won't stop. He beats me to the weight room. He beats me to practices. He's had some better practices. We'll have inside run early on in the practice. I had so-so. He made every play. Coach is pulling me aside saying I got to give him more reps because he's earning them. What does that do? Again, to most, whatever. To some, it makes you kick it into high gear. And guess what that does? Now, instead of it growing like this and one stops and the other one keeps going farther, what that does is a consistent race all the way up. And even when he gets close, he keeps going. And now we're having growth across the board. And we're pushing each other and we're growing as a team in a fair way.
Third degree wants the whiteboard.
What does he want?
We don't have a whole lot of time here.
Oh, my bad. You know how I get, Mark. I'll be here till 10:30. Don't bother me.
Oh, wait a minute. You're going to be on at 10:30?
No, I said I would be here till 10:30.
You would be here till 10:30.
Just talk about the game.
Well, third degree, we will ask the wholesome one to do that next week.
Yeah, we got a long off season, so great job. I could do, schemes. Me and Mark are also going to go over some plays and things that they should line that up for you all this off season too, and breaking it down. So we're excited about that.
So if we're going to go with one more question, a couple of people wanted you to evaluate the cornerback play.
Much better. Now, in the sense of, yes, the wide receivers and the quarterbacks did have an off day, but they can have an off day and you still get cooked. There were times where people were beat, and that happens. There's certain players on this team that aren't the fastest. All right, you're going to get beat. How do you continue to play through it? DJ Ivy did pretty well. Al Blades Jr., really happy about him. Really happy about what he continues to bring to the table. I like him. I was very critical of him before, but I know now that he was just being used in the wrong way. Now he's out there. He's getting into the nickel. He's being able to come down. He's being more of a cover two corner than somebody that has to play man or deep thirds off where he doesn't really have the speed to run with everybody. And so it makes him look bad. Okay, run support, Al Blades Jr. Effort, tenacity, man coverage, zone coverage. So we're learning as to how to use our young men in the right way to make us look good, to make the coaches look good, and make that player look good. Corey Couch was still a little iffy. From what I saw, was very, very impressed with what was happening with Isaiah Dudson, the 6'2", 200-pounder. Okay, former athlete, not just a corner. He played both wide receiver and cornerback in high school, and was thought to be a wide receiver prospect for a while, but he wants to play corner. I like what he's bringing to the table. I'll even add in defensive back as far as cornerback. Cam Kitchens did not play. We don't know why, but he did not play. Okay, the main two safeties that played the majority of the entire game was James Williams and Avonte Williams. Still impressed with Avonte. With James, he is what he is, and we'll see what happens. I'm not wild by any means. I thought I would be wowed by now. I like some of his play, of course, and I'm happy he's a Akheen, yes, but he hasn't been that dynamic playmaker that we were waiting on. And again, some people would disagree. I'm the one making the highlight tape for him, so I'm not a hater. I'm just saying, as far as taking over, I've yet to see that from Big Game James, and I'm praying that we get the chance to see that.
Tim, we appreciate the contribution, and yes, that'll be more incentive for the Wholesome One to bring out the whiteboard. Was Jacob Lichtenstein, was he as good as it appeared? He made a number of plays in the backfield. He had a batted pass that turned into a pick.
Yes. Yes. You know how they say, Mark, is never as good as you think, it's never as bad as you think. It's not, first team All ACC, but it's definitely, and he's a unique prospect. He's a 6'5", but he isn't in 300 pounds. He's in like that 270, 280 range. But he's very country and stout, strong. And this is why I'm saying, if we were able to go get Lynn, the nose guard that just hit the portal from Alabama, who was a true zero technique, we're able to go out there and get a guy like that, and Lichtenstein doesn't have to take on double teams and not get stats. He can go over to the 3, and then on third downs, mix into the 1 technique in the 2-eye and pass it downs and defeating guards. All right, but right now, him, Miller, and Allen Hayward are better gap sound, 1 technique guys. A little disappointed in Leonard Taylor. Was expecting a lot more. Defensive end wise, the only one that stood out was Cyrus Moss. Jafari Harvey, I don't believe, played. And Chance Williams was a little iffy. Thomas Davis turned some heads. I still think we need a little bit more out there off the edge, but linebacker wise, still bad. That's why I'm hoping we get in this transfer portal and land these guys, because we don't need to be trucking Wesley Masath out there as a true freshman. The days of doing that need to be, if he's, let's say, Justin Flo or Brian Urlacher or whatever, some just big time prospect, that's the only time we need freshmen starting that middle linebacker at Miami. The guys we got now, not too impressed with the front 7 play in the spring game. And more specifically, the linebacker position is still a big issue. Nose tackle is a big issue, in my opinion. Quarterback accuracy, wide receiver catching, fixable. No problem with that. Tight end play, not too bad. Offensive line play, very happy. Running back play, dynamic and different in a lot of guys, what we can bring to the table. Quarterback, pretty solid. Safety, solid. Linebacker, very, very poor. Very poor. So